All right, I'm back. We have a bunch of books that I cannot wait to read. I don't think I've done this in a very long time, so I'm excited to go through these books, give you my rationale for why I want to pick them up, why I was interested in them, why I'm really like on the edge of my seat even thinking about reading these books, and yeah, hopefully it inspires you to pick up something. Maybe you have some books that you think I'll like based off these suggestions. So please let me know. I'm all ears. I'm always open for new things. So first thing we have is something I picked up yesterday, which is the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. If you haven't heard of this, you're living under a rock because when was this written? 1342. No, that's when Chaucer was born. I can't find a date, but somewhere in the 1300s, this book was published. So if you don't know about it, you're clearly missing out on something. You're Patrick Star, but yeah, the Canterbury Tales is interesting. It's a set of stories that are told in different ways that are using different formats and give characters and kind of an idea of the archetypes of these certain trades, these certain professions, these certain ways of life during the medieval times. And this is something I read a little bit of when I was in high school, but I didn't go into each and every story. I just read a handful. And the ones that I did read were very interesting. The ones that I did read were very funny. I know each tale has a different kind of way it's written, but it's something that I've always wanted to read, and I finally have the time to pick it up and go into it. So that said, the next thing is The Odyssey by Homer. This is something I read previously. I obviously remember the gist of the story, but I also didn't like my teacher when I read this book in high school, so I feel like I'm going to have a lot more fun going back through and reading this. I also have the Iliad, which I'm going to pick up at some point, but I really do want to reread the Odyssey and experience that again and really go into the details and really think about the implications of what these stories are trying to tell you and the importance of the lessons that come through it. I don't know if it's just because I read Dante recently, but I've had such a bigger fascination with lyrical poetry and epic poems and sorts of stuff like that in recent times because it's starting to dawn on me just how important these texts are, just how central these texts are to the development of civilization and how they kind of held the place of libraries for the ancient world. But yeah, with that said, we will get into the next thing, Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. I know how to say Murakami. I don't know how to say the first name. I'm very sorry. I've been told to read this guy forever. I really have. I'm excited to read him. From what it seems like to me, he's very much like Borges. Writes in the kind of style that is dreamlike, that is very out there, that is very weird. But there's a very unique set of kind of writing styles that people fall in love with this guy. That's all I know about him, and the only reason I picked up this book is because Kafka is in the title, and Kafka is one of my favorite writers of all time. So why not pick up something that I don't know if he's even in the story. I don't know if it's based off him. I don't know if he's cited in the book, but I'm just excited to see what it is and excited to get into it. I've been told to read him many many times, and now that I have some time, now that I have some free time, it's going to be very good to go into his stories. Next thing I have is something I actually got for $5. This was one of the best deals I've ever gotten. I've gotten some good deals in my life, but I think this is the best one. I love Mary Shelley. I think Frankenstein's one of the best books ever written. I think it's top five in my list of if I had to give you five books to read ever for the rest of your life. I think it's certainly in there. There's something so central to that work that is so just important for the development of humanity, so important for the development of technology and the idea of pride, the idea of sacrificing what you have for the sake of something more, but is that more worth it? And there's some really deep messages in that, and I haven't read anything else by Shelley. I really hate to say that, and I feel like she certainly is a great author, so I need to read other stuff from her. The one I've been interested in is The Last Man, which is an apocalyptic kind of story, and again, she somewhat revolutionized the entire genre by writing the story. It's like the first man versus nature sort of apocalyptic, nothing is alive except him kind of story. That's what I know about it, and I'm excited to see what she has to say. I'm excited to read this story, and it is in this collection that I got for $5, along with a lot of her other works. So it's gonna be fun delving into this. It's gonna be fun reading her shorter stories and kind of getting a better idea of who she was, because I broadly know who she was. I broadly kind of have a little bit of context, but I don't study the people that I read. I just like to read their stories. I feel like, it's Joyce isn't as interesting as his stories. Borges isn't as interesting as his stories. Their lives can never come close to their imagination, and in some way, it's much easier for me to just find out about somebody through their writing. And I don't know if I'm alone in that, but that's really the way I like to delve into these people's psyche. But next thing we have is Hegel's Phenomenology of Spirit. I've just been interested with Hegel since I discovered the Hegelian dialectic and that sort of idea, and how it somewhat rules us in all aspects of life, and how, being in opposition to something actually bolsters that side, and all sorts of ideas like this. And, even Hegel's interesting to me in another context, because we hear so much about the technological singularity and how AI is advancing at such a fast rate, and faster and faster and faster and faster. And to me, it just, from my understanding of the Hegelian dialectic, it's the same thing. So I'm interested to read Hegel and see kind of the carryover, and see some of the ideas that he stated that I agree with, and I know I'm going to disagree with others, because Schopenhauer hated him, Nietzsche in some ways disliked him, and there's a lot of criticisms of him, but he certainly got something right with his idea of the dialectic. And how much I accept it, I don't know, but there's certainly something there. The last thing we have is Don Quixote by Cervantes. I don't know how to say it. I definitely said it wrong. Somebody please correct me in the comments if anybody even cares. But if somebody do, please correct me, because I'm going to say it wrong for years until somebody finally corrects me, and I'm going to feel like an idiot, and it's going to be so much worse than if I say it. If I say it wrong once, it's okay, but if I say it wrong for an entire year, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's my favorite author, because I know I'm going to love this book. I really can tell you that I'm going to very much enjoy this book, and I'm going to say the name wrong for years. Maybe somebody's playing a practical joke on me and just laughing every time I pronounce it wrong, but essentially Don Quixote is a story about a knight where he's not actually a knight, but he tries to create this world as he wants to see it in his imagination, and everyone in the world is telling him to believe otherwise, and he is not willing to. And I don't know anything else about the story, but I know it's like 1,000 pages and often cited as one of the greatest works ever written. Borges was absolutely obsessed with it, maybe even more so than Dante's Divine Comedy, but yeah, here are some things I'm excited to read. Hopefully I get to them soon. Hopefully I get to devour these things soon. But I feel like there's like a few thousand pages that I put in front of you guys. So no promises, but I'm going to slowly chip away at this list, and I'm going to slowly work through these lists. And yeah, maybe I start doing this more, and giving you guys indication of what you might see soon on the channel. I don't think I've done a video specifically on a book in a very long time, so you'll see some of those soon again. I have some shorter things that I can talk about and go into. But yeah, I like to make all different kinds of videos, because I don't like to get into a set pattern of things. I like to try out new things, and you might like one thing, but you might also like another format. So why not keep it fresh? Why not talk about things in different ways, and get to the solution in different ways? Because it takes pulling from different aspects of your life, and pulling those things together to really get a mastery over stuff. And the more ways I can say something, the more ways I can get something across. And yeah, with that said, I love you guys so much. It's good to be back. It does feel really, really good to be back. Sorry, I moved my camera. But yeah, with that said, peace out. I'll catch you in the next one. Love you guys so much.